Now, for instance, if you're dealing with an archaic word in the Bible, like paps, right? And you're trying to get other people's opinion about the word and wonder what's going on with it, right? Lawrence M. Vance also wrote a book about it, right? Right. Well, what you can do is if you too notice there's something unusual with the word, is say what he said and quote him, right? From the book, right? Right. So this is what he said, right? And the book was written in 1996, right? See, right? For behold, the days are coming in the which they shall say, blessed are the barren in the wombs that never in the paps which never gave suck. Sorry about that. The phone kind of fell. All right. So, the paps are mentioned 4 times in the authorized version. Pap is from the Middle English pape and is thought to be a Scandinavian word origin, right? Of Scandinavian word origin, right? The paps are the nipple or the entire breast of a female. Usually rendered paps. As breasts, when the context is a female. However, when referring to a male, the New King James Version, NIV and NRSV say chest, but the NASB breast. But if paps was so difficult to understand, then why was made in the AV changed by the NASB as perpetrated and raised up, replaced by the NKJV, which is the New King James Version, with perpetuate. Now, the problem is, though, in 3 other locations, it applies to a woman's breast, not a male's chest. Unless you know about a hermaphrodite. Well, what's a hermaphrodite? That's something that's both male and female. Oh. See, a hermaphrodite can have a penis to be circumcised, but also has breasts like a woman. Now, John said this when, though? 2,000 years after writing his gospel, the letters, and while on Patmos, right? Allegedly telling you some secret teachings that he didn't previously explain to you, calling it the hidden manna, right? And is trying to help you fully understand Jesus, right? Is the whole premise of the book, right? Now, when you look at the word, though, in the Greek, like I showed you before, it's spelled Mastois. Now, Luke used the same spelling, right? But no S, right? Now, in one passage, right, it talks about being suckled with his mother's pap, right? Because when you suckle your child, you only use one pap at a time, right? But when it says, they shall say, blessed are the pap that never suck, right, again, is the emphasis on one breast or two, right? Perhaps, again, one breast suckles a child, right? At a time. It's rare you'll see a woman using both breasts to suckle a child unless they got two of their arms and trying to suckle two children at once. Or let's say she has twins or something. If she's trying to suckle both babies at the same time, maybe, I don't know. Other than that, usually you use the one breast at a time, right, to suckle a child, right? So, John is describing Jesus here in a heavenly form where his hair and head, right, are white as wool, right? His body is as brass, right? And he has this gold white garment on, head from, I guess, neck on down, right, to the feet, right? And it's white, right? Now, in the chest area right here, right, is where the slash or girdle is, right? It's not around his waist, right, where you would normally find the belt, and I told you this before, right? It's around his mastois, right, which is spelled Mastois, right? And again, the definition in Strong's Concordance is still 3149, or the breast of a woman, right? I showed you that before too, right? So if you're so not hearing this truth John is trying to tell you as the only male of the 10, after Judas betrayed Jesus and hung himself, by the way, right? There were 11 left, right? The other 10 went to Timbuktu and back, I guess, right? But John stayed in Jerusalem and saw Jesus on the cross. In fact, he was the only one to see Jesus on the cross, right? Not the other 10, right? Left. Now, the perception of the Messiah, though, is that he was male, right? Well, this would totally throw them for a loop, right? If he was androgynous or a true hermaphrodite, right? Which is what Paul's saying, right? When he's talking about the male and female being baptized into Christ and all that, right? And that he died and made us both one, right? It applies to any division, right? Jew, Gentile, bond, free, male and female are all one in Christ Jesus, right? Well, it sounds like you don't want to hear that. It makes him androgynous, right? With the breasts of a woman, but the penis of a male, but maybe also something more underneath, right? Because unless you know what a hermaphrodite is, and men don't really know about them like I do, right? And I keep telling you that too, you don't know about them, right? But this could be the heavenly form from heaven, right? Because the spirit also is not male nor female, right? Unless it makes a form for itself to dwell in, right? And then it might be able to also make two from one, right? That's where you're getting confused again, right? If God made one being and had excess flesh, bone, and spirit, right? It made both from that one form, right? Except what you do there is you take the female parts out of that body, right? You put them in her body, right? And you form her body like his body, right? So you have two human beings, no longer one. No longer one. And from one came two. This is called, God says this, a cod, right? Or one. It also calls itself the Holy One, whatever that means, but it's a little different word, like I told you before, right? But when it says Shama Yisrael, Yahuwah Elohim Yahuwah Echad, right? That's what it's saying. It's one, not two. Don't make graven images in the likeness of male or female to represent it. Not even your own images, right? Are its one true image. That means you can't take the male and make it male, or the female and make it female. Either. Yes, neither male nor female is the spirit, right? And yet men don't know this. Men are sealing the knowledge, right? They don't want to deal with it, right? And that's what I'm explaining to you here, right? I'm also going to get a 1604 dictionary, right? And see, all I got to do to use this information is quote who I'm quoting here, right? Who is Lawrence M. Vance, right? And explain my take on the word paps, right? But also use his take, too, to explain why he's confused. Because, see, in other places, it does apply to a woman and not a male, right? Well, that's the problem. I don't know. Jesus wasn't male or female. He was a hermaphrodite, right? Who could have the breast of a woman, the penis of a man, and maybe something underneath the penis, too, right? Which could be removed from him and make a female independent of him and a male. Remember, 3 appeared with him, right? Total. Him and 2 others who they thought were Moses and Elijah. More accurately, Peter thought that. But what does that really mean? Ask Isaiah.